Hey everybody, today I'm going to go over snowball mining. This this thing is a rabbit hole that I have went down and been kind of down all day. It was originally going to be a 5-minute video, I thought, of me kind of uh, kind of trashing it a little bit. Um, However, I'm going to be honest about what I think about it, what I found out. Um, One of the reasons why I was going to do it is a buddy of mine has a YouTube channel. You should check him out. He's the Crypto Vapor. I'll put a link to his page in the description. And he did a video on it, and didn't like it very much. Uh, Honestly, he had good reasons to not like it very much. And they were based on his experiences. So pretty much as a PSA, I told him, I said, thanks for going over that. I'm gonna go over this too. Um, just to get the word out about it. Uh, and another reason is because I'm very prejudiced against, especially cloud mining, right now, the 10th of August, 2018, because I've been caught up in the hash flare debacle, whatever, it's midnight, um, where they just shut down my mining for Litecoin and for Bitcoin, and that's it. They said terminate your contract. You're stuck. You don't have enough mined for a withdrawal right now, so we'll just hang on to that for you. Um, and there was a huge uproar. Everybody went kind of crazy about it, and lo and behold, they turned the miners back on supposedly. The problem with cloud mining is the lack of transparency, the lack of regulation. Um, Most of these cloud mining farms and operations are not even not transparent, but they're secretive. And it's one of the last like remnants of this old oligarchy, or this old way of thinking of for security. We can't tell you. You must trust us. Give us your money. Give us your faith. You must trust us. Um, and most of them are in countries with low electricity costs, but you don't know really where they're at. And they could say where they're at, and they could tell you a lot of things. But on the other hand, this could be the most transparent uh, thing there is in the space, because all they have to do is make their wallet addresses public, and you'll know that Hashflare is mining this amount every month. If they have 3 wallets, if they have 5, if they have 100, if they make those public, everyone can see what is going into them, how much they're making. If they say they're mining 100 Bitcoin a month, you can look at that wallet and see it's 100 Bitcoin a month. If they say their operating expenses are 15%, you can minus your 15% from that. If they say there's other costs for lattes or whatever the hell they want for 1 or 2%, give it to them. But that still leaves a number that everyone should get, and you know what you should get with your hash rate. But they don't do that. They give you a number, and they say this is what you should get. This is what you made. Be happy with that. And it's not, it goes against everything that crypto and blockchain, stands for. But I mean, and I got into this, and I don't have a ton of money with Hashflare. It's like a couple $100, but it was like the first thing I did when I first started, learning about crypto and getting into it last year, right before everything took off, right before everything started getting big, like October, September, October last year, and I wanted to get into mining, but it was super technical. I didn't know how to do what. I was just really basically learning about blockchain and cryptocurrencies. There's no way I thought I could build a supercomputer that could run a spaceship and give me money. You know what I mean? I was a lot like a lot of people. Um, and then cloud mining is like, oh, these people have all that. They run all of it. They take a little piece for electricity and costs, and they give you the rest. That's amazing. It's super. You know, here's my money. It's Christmas time, but here's $200, and it's been pretty terrible. Um, so that being said, snowball mining is not cloud mining, but it is similar. It's a hybrid. So when I watched my friend's video, and it's a short one, you can head over there and look at it. The things that he experienced, I completely agreed with, and I told him in the comments. We talked afterwards that it looked pretty bad. Now he couldn't really get a hold of anybody. He tried to talk to like I said, based on his experiences, I completely agree with him. He does excellent work, good content. Um, and based on what happened to him, I agree with him. I would have put the same video out. My experiences today have not been what he went through. So I'll tell you what happened to me and what I think of it. Um, he clicked on everyone's links for LinkedIn. He said their LinkedIn profiles were not there. That is a huge red flag. He said he tried to reach out to people and could not get a hold of people, and then when he did, they weren't very forthcoming or helpful at all. So a lot of stuff like that, I would have said the same thing. So today, I've started looking through the white paper, and also when it comes to cloud mining, and I'm just going to call this cloud mining. It's not fair, but it's close. I mean, you don't have mining stuff in your own house or in your shed or wherever. So it's virtual mining and you're trusting someone. So we'll call it cloud mining. So I read the white paper. It's very, very legalistic. It's not like most white papers. It's pretty hard to get. But to be fair, everything I've been confused upon, and one of them was huge. I thought it was just a massive scam, and I'm like 30. I'm not more than that. I'm like 60% clear on it now. But as soon as I raised the question in the Telegram, they hit me up a private message. We went over everything, and I think I figured it out on my own with their help. But I think it's pretty clear. But I thought it looked just like kind of a double charge. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So as soon as I join the Telegram group and go in there, they told me welcome. I said, yeah, I'm about to do a video. I'm just doing some research. And the CEO reached out to me within a minute and started talking to me. He was friendly. He was helpful. I'd already looked at his LinkedIn profile. The LinkedIn works. The LinkedIn links are working. There is one that it does not. This guy here, see, it says in. You click on it, nothing. But and honestly, this guy's a graphic designer. He has been working for 8 years in the same place, 7+ years in the same place. There's no LinkedIn on her. Him there is, and there's none on her, I don't think. No, it says there is now. Okay, so just nothing. See, now I'm thinking maybe the middle section's not working. But I'm not going to be that forgiving. So, roadmap is almost done. They're having their ICO now. I think it's like a bucket token. This is where stuff gets confusing, the token distribution and the funds allocation. Either they're massively ripping everyone off, or this is written very confusing. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say it's just written very confusing. The main thing with this that does give you kind of a bad feeling is dividends. They push dividends, and that's the first thing that most Ponzi and other schemes push. But it is, to be fair, once again, it is a little bit different than that. Also, they do have a YouTube channel with one video. I did watch it. It's not great. but it's supposedly there. There's no narration. It shows like a building and some ASIC miners and tubing. But it says here, now when I first read this, Snowball Mining is a current operation mining facility based in Canada. There's a lot of countries that I'm going to hit you with, but it's the mining facility itself is supposed to be based in Canada. And I thought it was operating with 100 current gen S9s, 13.5 terahash. And I thought to myself, 100 S9s is not a huge operation. I mean, it's good for an individual. It's huge for an individual. That's like what my goal would be. 100 S9s, maybe a half an acre, little building, 1 or 2 employees. I'm retired. I'm good. But it is hundreds. Now I can tell you in the video, I didn't see hundreds of S9s. I didn't see 100 S9s. But they do have a YouTube channel. There's a video. Also, there's a video of a customer and his experience with them that he has gotten the dividend. Now, it is a little confusing. Okay, it's very simple, but it's a lot of legalese and it's kind of a little hard to follow. But long-term rewards, they have low cost. Their electric cost there in Canada, where they have it set up, is cheap. It's 5 cents per kilowatt hour. Now the dividends are paid every month for token holders. It's like a staking reward. So, and they want to pay out, I think it's like 10% a month. That's a lot. That is kind of a red flag. Just because it's, if it's too good to be true, it usually is. That's the only thing that it would make it a red flag. It's just that it is very high. But it is possible. It is it's more than probable. It's very possible with the miners. Because they're if they're distributing it after their profits from the mining, even at current numbers, at current Bitcoin's like at 6,000 something right now. Okay, now here the token distribution running cost is 30%. See, this is just written freaking terrible. And then public sale, 40%. This is written terrible. I'll go over this, and they didn't really. I talked to them for probably 10 minutes on this. This says public sale over here, not over here. Over here, public sale. So to me, that means the money coming in, which is a lot. 30% goes to running costs, which would be electricity and maintenance. And then funds allocation, 54% for GPUs, 27% for power supplies, which is ridiculously high for power supplies, freight, and wiring setup. Now, to me, the only way this makes any sense, is that if these are the numbers that the ICO money is being used for, but the public sale word is over here. Now, the dividend is paid out to you at the end of the month. They will just keep the number simple. Let's say they made $100,000 in Bitcoin. They mined $100,000. So they would take 30% out right away. So that's 30 grand. $70,000 left. 5% out of that for marketing. 8% buying new machines and reinvesting. 8% development. You can add those together and say it's 16, 9% to the team. And then 40% for the public sale, but the sale's over. So and that doesn't add up for the cost per month. Now, so if this is and then once again, if this is the money coming in, if these numbers here have nothing to do with the monthly for the monthly bills, the monthly costs, then why is it written like this? So let's say they make their total hard cap is over $8 million. $8 million is a lot. Their soft cap's almost 2 million, 1.8. $2 million, you can set yourself up a nice farm. These S9s are not very expensive. Um, you could do 100 S9s and power supplies anywhere from $60 to $80,000. And that would be looking. That would be looking. That would be used. That's shopping through eBay. Take you probably a month. 100 grand. You could easily set it up pretty quick though. So 1.8 million with just their soft cap is would set up a decent mining farm. But they're wanting to get $8 million. Now at $8 million hard cap, 30% of that's 2.5 million, 2.4 some million. So if they've got $2.4 million and this is what I kept asking them, because it seems like when you look at the dividend distribution every month it starts over. So on the first, you have $0. And then they say, okay, we took in $100,000. Now electric cost this much. We're going to take out electric. We're going to take out upkeep. We're going to take out paying people. We're going to take out buying some new machines to replace and upgrade. We're going to take out other costs. We're going to take out rent. We're going to take out money for our lattes, whatever. That all comes out, and then whatever's left over is the profit. We've got 50,000 out of the 100,000 that was profit. Now we're going to distribute that to everyone. Okay? That's the way that it looks, and that's, I think, how it is. They explained to me that's how it is. That the distribution every month is with the profit for the month. And then my question is, why are you taking out electric costs and operating costs of 30% plus all these other ones every month if you took in $2.5 million to pay for that in the ICO? And that's when things were a little confusing. So the only way that it makes sense to me is that they have nothing to do with each other, and all $8 million of the ICO that comes in will go to setting up the farm. 54% is going to go to buy ASICs and GPUs, 27% to PSUs, shipping, and setup. That's the only thing that makes any financial sense. Okay, so maybe this is just written wrong, but I'm going to take this time to say, not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, especially with anything like cloud mining or anything that you can't get a hold of, or that's like this. It's something you have to trust, and it's not trustless. You definitely do need to do your own research. Do your own research, hardcore, before you invest in anything or get involved in anything. Like I said, the roadmap is pretty much over. They've already distributed their first dividends, and I think it was 9%. From the video that I saw of a testimonial, they gave it to me, but I saw it before. I watched it before they posted that, and you can go on YouTube. I think it'll link you to that from their page. And their ICO goes to the 15th. Oh, and then the dividends go out like on the 31st of the month, at the end of every month. There are some cool aspects to this that are transparent, that are different than the Orwellian state of most cloud mining. And that is that they have a community voting that is really, really, they really do stress that community, and that this voting thing is going to be a really big deal. And that the community gets to vote on any changes in regards to whatever, especially like they're trying to go towards more solar, like what kind of solar panels, if they're going to add more in, invest in more, so on. But their hydro cost is really, really good. It's only 0.05, which is really, really cheap. I mean, I live in Texas, and we have really cheap electricity. In fact, Bitmain is moving a massive mining farm, probably about 2-3 hours from my house. I think they're putting like 500 million into it. So I guess if you look at that, 500 million, 8 million is not that big of a deal, but I mean, 8 million is still a big deal. And I will tell you, this is a small operation. It's a small team. Um, it does look like they're just trying to get started. So it's not like they are Bitmain or they're a huge corporation. This is the person I talked to, Philip. Nice guy. Like I said, my experience today totally different than my friends. Everybody was friendly and open. The only thing that and I just had that because I've been looking at this for hours. The only thing I can't figure out is the distribution and the cost, and the numbers are they're just weird. But I've also been reading this legalistic white paper for hours. They do have a Twitter. They have the YouTube. There's only one video. Their Telegram, as usual, is the place to go for connecting and talking. The white paper, and like I said, I am biased because I've had bad experiences with cloud mining. It just seems like you don't have any recourse or authority, or I mean, you have a contract, but basically, it's like if you don't, your contract's really worthless. Like they could do whatever they want. And the dividends are deployed on the last day of each month. Don't sell your tokens. Blah blah blah. You receive your dividends on days such as factors as rising difficulty. In addition to more miners, will affect your rewards, percentages of dividends. We expect to pay out an average of 10% per month. Their tokens are $1 a piece. You hold them in you gotta hold them in ERC20 wallet to get the dividends, like your Mu. Token fundraising. Now, they have S9s, which they're getting a little old. There's about to be a bunch of really, really, really powerful ones coming out. Now, some have come out already, but they're looking to get the next gen equipment. Now, here's where it's laid out, and this is where it gets confusing. The funds allocation, which when I figured it out, I said, so the funds allocation is the money spent from the ICO, and then the token distribution is the monthly stuff. And then the admin said, yeah, no. So, but it's the only thing that makes sense to me. So the funds allocation is, like I said, the 54% to the ASIC miners and the GPUs, 27% PSUs, shipping, and then wire setup. The running costs are proportional to the total mining rewards, and the 30% token allocation will cover the expenses regardless of how many miners are added, as long as the hash rate grows and the mining rewards add up accordingly. See that statement right there? To me, that says that this money is coming in from the ICO. After the token sale, the first mining dividend is scheduled. We already went over that. Now, the soft cap at $1.8 million. Hard cap, $8.4 million. So close to $8.5 million. We will not be looking to raise over this amount, as it will satisfy our purchasing power and growing our hash rate to maximum hardware capacity. Okay. Now, token distribution. Running cost, 30%. So 30%, this is where it doesn't make sense. If they're taking in 30%, which is $2.4 million for electricity, then why would they be taking electric costs out of the profit every month before they send you out your money? Which they say, why? Why would anyone want to buy or hold them? Purchasing and holding SBM tokens, ERC20, put it in your Mu, grants the buyer community voting rights. I told you that. That is cool. Monthly mining reward dividends distributed on the last day of every consecutive month. Think of it as a constantly evolving mining smart contract, like cloud mining, which that's one thing that just give me chills. It's a non-binding smart contract token that you'll eventually be able to trade. So it's going to be token go up in value, go down in value, all that. But I mean, if it goes up, cool. If not, the main reason to hold it is for these 10% dividends every month. Now, why are the costs 30%? Operating costs include maintenance, electricity, and daily upkeep. And since 30% of all mining rewards satisfies these expenditures, this allocation of dividends from the total network hash rate will go towards operating costs. Compared to many other mining solutions, 30% is one of the most efficient overheads in the market due to our low energy rates and green energy. Yes, completely agree with that. But if you go to Genesis or Hashflare or any of the other ones, you don't invest in the ICO and then just whatever you get is what you get. You buy actual hash rate. You have a contract that they don't really have to, honor. But um, the costs are usually like 35 to 40% that they pull out on most cloud mining. But they didn't get millions of dollars to cover that first. That's the main thing that I'm not getting. Unless, like I said, all that $8 million or most of that $8 million goes to buy all the hardware and get everything set up. And that's what the ICO is for. It's just to set up hardware, set up logistics, set up wiring, secure the space needed for everything. That would make sense. Then their money's pretty much gone and invested into the company Snowball Mining, and then every month what comes in is what they pay out. But it's confusing the way that it's written. Then when exchange, support, it's just the community-driven stuff. I mean, you need to read this white paper. You need to do your research on it. Here they go over the kilowatt. Like I said, it's 0.5, which is super. I mean, this is in Canada. Okay, I'm gonna go over this real fast. The people are from Amsterdam, from the Netherlands. The mining facility is in Canada. But if anything goes wrong or you need any kind of problem with your investment or with that, it's not really a contract, but there's any kind of issue with your data or with anything else, you'd have to go through Germany. Told you it's a little confusing. But 0.05 in Canada is really good. Roadmap went over. It's almost closed. Terms and conditions. This is a lot of legalese. There's 21 million tokens total. Not a ton, going for $1 each. Claims. It's such legalese. Any claims of token holders against the issuer under this agreement and under the tokens are denominated in cryptocurrency, Ether, and not legal tender. That means that payments fiat currency, no obligation to the issuer or token holder shall be owed in fiat currency. They'll never have to pay any money in fiat, and no matter what the decision is. And there's a lot of weird things about the legalese on this. Like it says, the rights and obligation of this agreement only represented by the tokens, not the Ethereum blockchain. Where is it? Is it like it says? This is not a subscription. And then it says the token shall only be subscribed and transferred to persons satisfying the qualifications set up in Preamble 2. Subscription period. The tokens can be subscribed at any time during the subscription period. The subscription period shall begin on 15th of June and shall end on 25 June. The issuer has a right, but not obligated or obligation to extend the subscription period. Um, Profit participation. There's a couple things that I did read through this that were a little off. In consideration of the provision of the subscription amount, the token holder shall be entitled to profit participations. The profit participation granted does not refer to the overall profit of the issuer, as stated in the annual financial statements of the issuer, but to the profits resulting from the mining operation, as described further below in the profit participation. The business model for mining to be realized: two business units: proprietary mining, where the issuer invests its own and operates the crypto mining solution, the mining, and third-party operations, where a third party buys, otherwise finances the crypto mining solution, while the issuer operates them and receives share of the profits. I don't know why they'd have to have a third party if they got 8 mil. Profits of the mining operation shall be total rewards received by the issuer after the conversion to US dollar minus the operation costs, such as, but are not limited to, costs for electricity, rent, lease or land of operation, replacement of hardware components, depreciation, and a handling fee for overhead costs, those are the lattes, of the issuer. The profit. The issuer may, in its reasonable discretion, determine the timing and exchange rate accepted for conversion of currencies and the allocation costs up to the respective business unit. Basically, like I said, it's so much legalese. And then there's one little clause in here that was pretty bad. The aggregated profits from mining are limited to 40%. Third-party operations described above, minus any nominal amount of redemption pursuant to Clause 3. Redemption of tokens constitute the pool that token holders are entitled to receive. Of this, the pool's 84% shall be distributed on a prorated basis to the token holders. The remaining 16% shall be reinvested to expand the capital base that shall increase revenues in the future. That is what they're talking about, the having a consistent money coming in. Transparency clause. This goes over your data. Token holders shall have no shareholder rights, in particular, no rights subscribed to any securities to which shareholders of the issuer have subscription rights. The tokens do not convey probably any right to a liquidation surplus. The token holders are entitled to voting rights. They do put that in writing, so that voting thing is pretty cool. So this is what freaked me out. Now, I would get with them, or I would look into this, because this says all payments to be made by the issuer under the tokens may be subject to Canadian withholding tax in the amount of 35%, because Canada taxes suck. We don't even have a state tax in Texas. So I couldn't imagine paying 35% to the federal government. That's just insane. At the moment of conclusion of this agreement, the issuer is obligated to deduct this withholding tax on each payment to forward the withholding tax to the Canadian rip you off a lot, whatever they're called, CRA. The subscriber and any future token holder, which would be you, acknowledge the fact of this withholding tax to be deducted and is aware that she himself is responsible for the proper recovery of this withholding tax in whole or part. Now, taxes are a huge scam. They're a ripoff. Governments are pieces of crap, but it would be very terrible if they make that 100,000 and then the Canadian government says you made 100,000, give us 35%, and then out of that 65,000 that's left over, you're going to get $100. Out of that $100, they take 35% again for the Canadian government. That I wouldn't put it past it. I don't know, I'm not Canadian. I'm in Texas, so but that's something to research. I don't have to worry about it. But you should check on it. Um, that's mainly the privacy policy goes over your data. Uh, that they're allowed to collect it and keep it for anything that has to do with your connection with them. Um, anything goes wrong, you need to you can withdraw your consent at any time, object to the processing. It's a lot of stuff because it looks like they're trying to be compliant with the new privacy laws in the EU, which I can't remember the name of it, which is ridiculous. I had to go through so many classes with Xbox on this. But it's really, really strict. Way, way more strict than anything we have in the United States or Canada. That's pretty much it. I'm going to put a link to their website. Like I said, it's not, I mean, um, this address is in Canada. I think this is probably where the, no, 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 no. This address is not in Canada. This address is in the Netherlands. So owner and data controller is this is in the Netherlands. Um, I don't know where the mining farm is in Canada, but there is that video, as you can see on their YouTube channel. And then where is it? Let me give me a sec. I'll find it. There's a processing mode in place of processing data. Amendments, servability, place of performance. Here we go. Governing law. The tokens with regard to both from and content, as well as rights and obligations arising from this agreement for the token holders and the issuer shall in all aspects be governed by German law. So it's in, I told you it's confusing. It's in Canada. Taxation would be under Canada, maybe, in some what I'm reading. The governing law over the tokens, form, and content would be under German law. And then the team is in the Netherlands. The place of performance, that's a legal term to where you would have to go to for any disputes would be Frankfurt, Germany, Federal Republic of Germany. Place of jurisdiction for all proceedings arising. That's what I just said. Place of jurisdiction for all proceedings arising from matters provided in this agreement shall, to the extent legally be permitted to. So if you have any problems, you got to go to Frankfurt, Germany to deal with it. So, like I said, it's pretty confusing. I mean, I read a lot of white papers, and this one's a doozy because this whole this is it's a very confusing place in the space. It could be. I mean, 10% a month though is awesome, and it is more than attainable with mining. Before I started making this video, I thought it's a simple, no. Now I'm not sure. I really am. I'm not sure. The team was really cool. I had access to the LinkedIn's. I could look at everything. I'm not going to tell you the rock stars. I'm not going to say that they don't have tons of experience in blockchain. They don't have tons of experience in mining. But you know who they are. They're not hiding, which is what they would be doing if you couldn't get a hold of them or see their LinkedIn's or anything, which was happening to the crypto vapor. but I didn't have that experience. Like I said, with all things, just don't invest what you're not ready to lose, um, and do your own research on it. They are giving a 5% pre-sale bonus, which is, and that's another thing. The the numbers look all right. That token bonus 5%. That's good. It's really good. It's not 50. It's not 40. It's not gonna shouldn't be a bunch of people dumping it. As soon as it's over. Um, so there's a lot of aspects of it that look good. Uh, I mean, cloud mining or virtual mining, all that. It's a neat idea. I mine on my own now, and it's a pain in the ass. You know, uh, it's loud and it's hot, and you've got to keep checking it. Um, I mean, it's a little bit more of a headache. Um, so it's a cool idea. I mean, if you can, if you can trust the person. Um, so, like I said, do your own research. I'm gonna put those links in the description. I appreciate the views and the likes, and please click subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. The channel's doing pretty good. Really happy with it. You guys take care.